All right, we are back. We are live. Hopefully, the stream is loading a little better now. I'm gonna pull up the chat on my phone again so I can use this other screen again. But man, it's crazy. I'm like 60 or 70% of the way to passing that second eval just from me. Like that second eval, I didn't do like the first funded account I passed, that was just me doing Dodgy's CPI method. But this next eval, if I pass it, I'll have passed it all on my own, which is so cool. Okay. Okay. Pulling up the chat. Got the chat on my phone. So, right now, 1310 macro has been going for 15 minutes, and it's honestly been kind of weak. We haven't got much going on. My gosh, what is going on my other screen? It's freaking out. My other screen is going crazy right now. Like, literally the font's not even the normal font. What the heck is going on? Okay, anyway. Alright, it's finally starting to figure itself out a little bit. What the heck? I've never seen this happen. That's so weird. Okay, I'll just exit it out and restart it. That's so weird. I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna restart that screen. That's weird. So, right now it's like the market's just kind of consolidating, and you know what? It is what it is. Man, that 4-hour CRT, you would think that we'd take London highs, but now that we have an SMT, it's like kind of unclear. We still got equal lows below. We got a ton of liquidity now here. Like a ton of liquidity. I'm almost wanting to be bearish because of it. I know the higher time frame is bullish though, so I'm pretty cautious right now. Yeah, SMT here. That's so strange. Wait. Higher high, lower high. Lower high, higher high. Higher high, lower high. Lower high, higher high. Yeah, we got double SMT here. But I'm still bullish. Like, that's the thing. I'm still bullish. If it's unclear, I'm not gonna take a trade. All right. Just fixing everything right now that needs to be fixed. Stuff just breaks on my other screen all the time. I don't know why. Like, all the time stuff breaks. It's so weird. And then... Okay. Alright, fix this screen. Now I'm going to fix this screen. Let's get rid of all of our notes just because it's getting kind of chaotic. Yeah. Oh, maybe now this isn't going to be a pain in the butt anymore. Hey, is it not? Now let me see if I draw something on here. Awesome. Okay, it's not being annoying anymore. Perfect. Because whenever I drew something on here, I didn't have the globe icon selected, but it would still show up on my other screen, which was so annoying. Okay, perfect. And then I'll turn on weekly stat map here. Boom. So, alright, let's talk about what's going on now. So, pull up the higher time frame chart. Bro, why do event horizons keep popping back up? Okay, go off. So, once again, we still have that 4-hour CRT, which makes me think we are drawing towards that 4-hour candle's high. I mean, it makes sense to me. 4-hour CRT high and London's highs. It makes sense to me that we're possibly drawing up here, but once again, with that SMT, it's like, well, now we have an SMT to deal with. We're going against the bearish SMT. So we might not be drawing here anymore. I mean, I figured that measuring this out, this is a good manipulation move. -1 does line up there, but doesn't really matter that much if we don't go there. Same thing here. Also lining up the -1 here. It's like really pointing a lot of this is pointing that we are going up to London's highs, but I can't force it. Once again, we have that bearish SMT. I think being bullish possibly outweighs it. We have SMT with this high and SMT with this high. And it's kind of confusing because so lower high on the S&P, higher high on S&P, lower high on the S&P, no, higher high on the NASDAQ, lower high on the NASDAQ. But then it's higher high on the S&P, no, lower high on the S&P, higher high on the S&P, higher high. It's so confusing, but there is two S&Ts here. So anyway, I'm gonna mark that out just because, you know, just because. I mean, is this even like, is this a sequential SMT? Not even. It's not even sequential. So I don't know, man. How much weight do you give into that? Because also, like, we're delivering. Let's see. I mean, I really do think the higher time. Let's start from the higher time frame again, because like, I think that's honestly really helpful. Like, we're delivering from a weekly gap. Where do you move when you move from a fair value gap? You move to whatever high or low is up above you, right? So weekly, on the weekly chart, we're delivering from this weekly gap. That makes me think that we're within this giant weekly buy model. Like, that's still my bias. And then, like, as far as like the weekly profile goes, once again, move lower into that 4-hour gap. Move lower into that 4-hour gap. So this seems like this was the key level of the for the weekly profile here. That was the bottom of this expansion, possibly this expansion week. And now it seems like we're expanding to all-time highs. Oh, but we are dumping right now. Dang. Okay, so maybe we'll get our setup. You know what I mean? Like, if we can just get conviction that we should be drawing higher, then that would be nice. One possibility though is the market might want to come back down even lower first, um, and go down and test this daily gap again. With this SMT, that's entirely possible. Honestly, it is pretty fair that that could happen. So I think it's worth noting, right? This is like a daily gap now. So the market might want to come back, retest this daily gap, because this daily gap's now a thing. It wasn't a thing before. I mean, if this SMT does hold, man, the market's just getting really sporadic right now. It's going back up and down. Look. Got this giant woman at dump and now pumping back up right now. So, but we're kind of trading within this consolidation. It's like, it's just like, what the heck? I mean, I just realized I marked this out quite a while ago, but that BPR is holding kind of nicely. So I'm wondering, we're delivering from a BPR. We might actually have a trade here. Because is there SMT? Remember, we have that higher time frame SMT. We have SMT here. So actually, you know what? It's very possible that we don't get to London's highs. I'm starting to change my stance a little bit. Even though we're bullish, the market might want to go fill that daily gap first. And if that happens, right, we're getting a close below here. Got good liquidity below, equal lows below here. Delivering from a BPR. Did we get SMT? There's equal highs on the S&P. That's not a good sign. It's not what we want to see. We want to see actual SMT. SMT with YM right here. We'll see if this holds. Yeah, we have SMT there. YM. But we might have a bullish SMT. Let's take a look at that. Low. But nah, both of them are lower lows. What about here and here? Low. Both of them are higher lows. Okay. So like, it's unclear. It's possible we might want to run all those lows, but unclear. Like, you could consider this a breaker block because we did kind of sweep this high, but it's not a really clear sweep. I'm not convinced of anything right now, especially because it just looks like the market's consolidating. What might convince me of something is if we push up into this new day opening gap. And then we inverse back to the downside, and let's say we got SMT here. Then that might be a little bit more convincing. And as well, what would that be any key level? Yeah, maybe this mean threshold. Yeah. That's possible. Or maybe it's not. No, the mean threshold would be all the way up here. Just kidding. I'm trying to figure this out. Nothing's convincing me of anything. Like, yeah, you have a fair value gap right here. Yeah, you have a breaker here. But is this high probability? I'm not convinced. This could work, though. Especially because we just got a 30-second breaker. Nah, it's a mitigation block. One thing that's concerning is there's bullish SMT here. Yeah. The macro also just ended. So this is just one of those situations where it's just unclear. And until it clears up, I'm not gonna do anything. The market's consolidating. That's what it seems like to me. Oh, you know what though? We kind of do have a key level here. This order block. Yeah. Alright, so now we're talking. If we were to get something like this, well, we kind of already used it. We already racked it off of it. You could also measure it like from the wick. Oh, we should turn on PM stat map now that we have it. Now that it should show up. Interesting. The PM distribution level is all the way down here. That's crazy. Manipulation level is all the way up here. Low-key, this is kind of hurting my eyes. I think I'm just going to turn this off for now because it's really not that serious. It's kind of just hurting my eyes. And then no one's really watching, so. Alright, so that breaker for value gap did end up holding. Decent LRLR here. But yeah, you can see how this breaker for value gap caused a pretty aggressive reaction. So like if you took this trade from the for value gap, it would look something like this. And that would have ended up being a 2-1. I didn't take it. You're going against a bullish SMT, but clearly it ended up working. So we might get this 1 minute inversion. 21 seconds. Might take this. Alright, let's pull up Tradevate. Did we inverse it? I don't think we did. Not quite. I'm not convinced. Like you could consider that possibly being inversed, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. Let's see how this would have played out though. So far this would have played out pretty well. So I guess if it's close to inversing like this, could probably still take it with good liquidity. Yeah. I mean, we might get a breaker for value gap entry. Or maybe we'll get a BPR entry. Oh, you know what? Should we try entering on this BPR? It's kind of risky, but it might work. I think it's worth a shot. It's such a tight stop loss. This might be a mistake. But I do think this could be a really good trade, RR wise. Looks like we might not go down all the way. Really good LRLR. Really good sweep. Are we delivering from anywhere? Okay, we're closing above the breaker here. So we should go run this LRLR. Now at this point, I'm going to cancel this. I don't like it anymore. But you can see that inversion kind of did work. So it's kind of cool. I mean, maybe this could still work. We have relatively equal highs. That's decent. If you, maybe you could still take this BPR. We got relatively equal highs. Oh man, it's just such a tight stop loss. And we're trading kind of within a consolidation. I'm gonna be real. Like being totally real, this is like kind of in a consolidation, honestly. Not within a macro. It's kind of within a consolidation. I'm really hesitant. It's like it's definitely within a consolidate. It would definitely at the like it'd be just one account, right? Like maybe this is just like a trade you take on half risk. Honestly, it's worth taking, but I'm gonna take half risk just because we're in a consolidation. I don't want to deal with it. I understand it's kind of risky, so doing half risk on it. Like we're definitely within a consolidation, but I'm gonna take it on half risk. I mean, it's just a quick should could be just a quick fill and then TP. Like if you took this, like look if you took this BPR down to these equal lows, that would have hit. That would have been really nice. Yeah, we're definitely in a consolidation right now. It's just very low probability conditions. We probably won't get anything good until the macro. Just being realistic. But, yeah. Man, that 1 minute inversion kind of worked, honestly. Even though it like barely inversed, it's kind of working so far. I'm on doing half risk because this is a really bad price action, right? So I'm not I'm I'm not very confident in it. Like I honestly maybe shouldn't take it because yeah, I should probably just not take it. If I'm not confident, yeah, I'm not gonna take it. There's no point. It kind of just wastes my. It just sets me back. If I lose, it just sets me back. I was gonna think about doing it on half risk, but nah, it's just not worth it. That's just a stupid trade, to be completely honest. Cause look at this, the market's just in a stupid obvious consolidation right now. So your trades are just gonna be a lot lower probability. I'm right. So I'm from my family's from Idaho. Right now we are in Washington for Christmas, but yeah, just hanging out. Bro, are you in my Discord? If you're you should definitely join it if you're not, cause like it's just like a good way to just like I don't know. I'm just trying to make a group of friends who all like trading, where we can talk about trading stuff. So definitely join that Discord if you want, and we can all help each other get better and teach each other stuff. So it's kind of the idea. But yeah. So this is interesting. Yeah, just definitely a big consolidation. Next macro isn't until 15:15, so we got quite a ways. Yeah, only if you want to. You said it with a period. Like, if it sounds like you don't want to. So, if you don't want to, that's fine. But if you do want to, you should. Boom. Yeah, this 1 minute inversion actually would have worked. I just not a fan of how it closed personally, because it barely closed above. So. Okay, yeah. Trader Boy. So right now we're in a consolidation, and I'm not really seeing anything personally. I probably like should probably just go off the charts until we come back for the PM macro here. This macro we had here was actually just, where was it? This macro we had here was pretty weak, honestly. Well, I guess we reacted off this BPR. It wasn't terrible. We did end up reacting off that BPR. But it's just the market's consolidating right now. So as far as right now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not really like nothing standing out. But all of a sudden, if we start to get aggressive movement in one way or the other, a light bulb will go off in my head, and I'll figure out what kind of trade I want to take. If we get a movement, for instance, if we sweep these lows and we start to run up towards this, maybe I'll take a trade. Or if we run these highs, maybe we'll come down to those lows. Right now, I'm just I just think the market's consolidating, so it's definitely lower probability right now. So I'm not really looking at anything, and the macro is not for quite a while. What were you saying? I just watched your vid. I don't trade ICT. Lots of problems. Like what? Like what kind of problems? ICT is great, bro. ICT is like everything tells a different part of the story. Like all trading methods tell different parts of the story. But I feel like ICT is just like it's the raw charts. It's exactly what the market's telling you. So I don't know. I like ICT a lot. Yeah, this is terrible, dude. Um, Maybe I should go off, but I kind of just want chart time. And if we did happen to get something, then that would be pretty cool. So I don't really mind. I'm just kind of hanging out right now. I'm not like I'm forcing any trades. I'm just hanging out. So if we did get something, like the main setup I'd be looking for probably. Actually, it's really hard to say because right now we're kind of trapped between a giant SMT, but then also like the higher time frames kind of bullish. So I don't know. Right now it's kind of hard to say, but I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. Like I said though, I'm not. I'm mostly just watching right now and hanging out. And then if we did happen to get something, then maybe I would take it. But realistically, I'm not. I'm not taking anything. As I said, if it works, then it's fine. Yeah, if it work, like everything work. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their own way of trading, and as if it works, then it works. I'll be back. But yeah, the main reason I'm still streaming right now is literally just because I want chart time. I'm realizing the only thing stopping me from like I'm basically there. I'm basically profitable. Like I'm up on all my accounts, but like I just need more chart time. And so I don't think sitting and watching the charts and not trading is gonna do any harm. If we did happen to get something, a break out of this consolidation and get a good inverse, I mean we're generating some good liquidity. So you never know. Like most of trading is just watching anyway. But it doesn't give you the proper way to trade with The predefined stop. Uh, what do you mean by that? Like, can you elaborate a little bit on that? There are infinite ways to make money in the market, as there are different parameters: time, price, liquidity, volatility, and more. Yeah, I agree. There's infinite ways to make money. At the end of the day, though, it all comes back to targeting other people's stop losses, though, if you really think about it. Because in order for you to make money, someone else has to get stopped out. But as long as it kind of resides within that idea, then yeah, whatever way you do it works. Yeah. You should join the Discord and then show me some of your stuff. I'm always interested to learn. So I think let's talk about the higher time frame actually for just a bit, because you know, market's not really moving. Might as well, right? So like I was saying, we are aggressively responding to this weekly gap, and to me that makes me bullish on the higher time frame, because we aggressively wicked in here. Whoop. Like, look at how the daily candle aggressively wicked into the gap below this consolidation. So to me, this seems like AMD, and it seems like we're expanding from this fair value gap to this the external high. But that's why I've been bullish this whole time. But like, I'm just trying to be careful as well, because we did get that SMT, so it's possible that we come back down, retest this daily gap tomorrow before continuing higher. You know what I mean? So like, I'm keeping an open mind, but right now I see this still as a buy model on the higher time frame, personally, where we are expanding towards all-time highs, right? That's what I see right now. I mean, if you measure out, this seems to me like the final manipulation move. Measure this out, and it makes sense. Look at what happened here. We get a pullback at the -1. So, right to the tick, actually. Like, look at that. Wow. That's crazy. I should start, if it's a good manipulation move, I should start taking into consideration the -1 more sometimes, because the precision on that is ridiculous. I'm gonna definitely take into account the -1 more if it's an obvious manipulation move into a higher time frame level like this. Yeah, I'm gonna take into account the -1 in the future, because that's crazy. Wow. So honestly, low key, with that in mind, I kind of could see a retracement. We still have that SMT. I honestly kind of could see a retracement. So let's talk about that as a possibility on the lower time frame here. We perfectly tapped into that -1, like perfectly. That's ridiculous. And then we have a lower time frame SMT here. Whoops. Like, so that honestly gives me a lot of conviction that we're gonna go retest these lows maybe, cause like that's crazy. Like maybe another internal sweep. That's actually pretty crazy though. -2 to 2.5 all the way up here. One thing that could be helpful is measuring this out, because this is obviously like the final move up. That 2 to 2.5 was a pretty good area for a bottom. Maybe you could argue we're going to that 4 to 4.5. That's a possibility, right? I mean, the fact we're getting these SMTs is really a red flag to my bullish bias, if I'm being completely honest.
I know I wanted to see London get hit, but like, we just got this giant SMT. So maybe we reverse in PM, honestly. I mean, let's pull up PM stat map again. Like, framing this idea with the PM stat map. Where's PM stat map? I guess we didn't really have a manipulation leg though. Maybe it's coming. Maybe we still have yet to go put in that manipulation leg. So you're buying 10-point stop. Okay, good luck. I could see us going down there. Let's try and get some more information. Once again, this New Day opening gap's right here.
Interesting. Maybe. Yeah, you'll know as well the -1 overlapped with the bottom of this giant New Day opening gap as well. So that's interesting. I mean, you could also say like, did we tap into that
Mean threshold?
Not yet. Short. What do you mean? You were just buying.
You just bought 5 seconds ago. Now you're shorting? Okay. I'm not doing anything. This is a giant consolidation. Once again, we have that 15-15 macro here. There's that macro. Not seeing anything. We got, it's just consolidation right now. I don't know if we're going to get anything for a while. So there's that standard deviation, 2 to 2.5, 4 to 4.5. Oh, you know what? It's possible we want to come test this opening gap down here. Oh, you know what else? This New Day opening gap. Whoops. You know what else is interesting about this? So I guess we kind of already tested this, but this New Day opening gap is also a new week opening gap. We kind of already tested it. So you could argue we're already rejecting it here. New week opening gap. Yeah, you could argue we're already getting rejected by that.
Okay. All right. Oh, they're pending orders. Okay. Nice. Nice. Awesome stuff. Yeah, if you ever catch a good trade, put it in the Discord. I'm not seeing a ton. So let's measure this out now. This is one we haven't measured out yet. 2 to 2.5 right there. So I do think we could be drawing to at least this fair value gap here. It's a reasonable area to expect us to go with all these lows here. I mean, even if you're not super bearish, you could still expect us to go here.
Yep, just consolidation. What else is there to know anyway? Like, maybe you could say, like, I guess you could say this is like a BPR here. 2-hour BPR that's getting held. That's something you could say. I could definitely see us possibly getting a move back down. I don't know if we'll get it today, though. Interesting. Look at that. 2 to 2.5 lines up there as well. Okay. And they're getting an additional confluence here. I mean, what would this be? This would be filling the daily fair value gap, right? Yeah, this would finish filling the daily fair value gap. It's entirely possible that the market does want to do that. It's a 4-hour gap. It's the bottom of a 4-hour gap. Kind of starting to lean towards that possibility.
It's definitely seeming more and more likely, like a possibility. Yeah, look, oh my gosh. I'm just now realizing. You know what happened today? We went about to the daily manipulation level on stat map.
We went close there. And then daily distribution level is down here. Right around all of our confluences. Just sucks we're in such a big consolidation. Hey, then this BPR failed. Remember I was thinking about taking that to the equal highs? Yeah, that failed. So that was good I didn't. Really good I didn't.
Man, we're probably not. I don't even know why I'm watching. I should probably just come back in an hour. If I'm gonna take a trade, it needs to be in 1 hour from now. I guess that's something I'm learning as I go with PM is. PM's just gonna be a lot more slow. Like if we get another trade, it's probably not gonna be till 15-15. I might just call it here then, or maybe I'll come back at 15-15. Oh, hey, we had a breaker for value gap that held here. Low time frame one, but still. I would not have taken this, but just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of undecided. No, there's no planned trade right now. It's what I'm doing right now is I'm waiting and I'm not gonna take a trade probably until we get to this 15 o'clock. That's when the next macro is. And then from there, I think the best possibility would be I I really couldn't tell you because we're just consolidating, but what I'd be looking for is just inverse for value gap most likely. Just an aggressive move down and then back up to take out the LRLR. Or vice versa. We get a move up into this new week opening gap and then down. But that's the only thing I would really take right now is if we got an inverse to target this consolidation. That's really all I would do. That's the only thing I would take. But I honestly think might just be beneficial just to maybe come back in 1 hour. I think maybe that's what I need to do with PM is I should just trade. I should get on the charts for what is it? So I should start streaming for maybe I should start streaming at like 12:50 and then 12:50 until 1:40 and then I come back an hour and a half later or like I come back at 3. So like the times I would stream would be from 12:50 to 13:40 and then 14:45 to 15:45. Wait, I'm doing this wrong. Hang on. Oh, no. I meant 12:55. Yeah, so I think this is what I'm going to do in the future because I mean, most of the PM you're not going to get any good trades. You're just going to get consolidation, but I'm going to write this down in my notes. What do you think about longing 955? Do you see anything there? If we come down and yeah, if we were to come down and aggressively, violently get an inversion back up to the upside, we got good trendline liquidity here. So yeah, I would long if that happened. So like, ideally I'd want to see all these lows get taken out. And then once all these lows get taken out, if we got an inversion back up like this, I would take that. That'd be good. To go target those LRLR and the eagle highs. But yeah. UVIX printing puts printing. Nice. Well, I don't know what UVIX is. Oh, is that volatility? That's cool. But yeah, like genuinely, I might just come back in an hour because I'm gonna write down in my phone, bro. Trader Boy, thanks for being like my #1 supporter. You're the man, dude. Like no one else comments on all my videos like you do. It like really means a lot. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna write down PM stream times, and I'm gonna have it be in Washington time, so I can, cause I'm in Washington right now. So I'm gonna go from. So this is 12:50. I'll have both times. So 12:50
12:50 Eastern to 13:40 Eastern. Just so I can like trade both the PM macros. Okay, 13:40 Eastern. And then 14:55 Eastern to 15:45. 14:55 to 15:45. So that in Washington time is let's see. 3 hours different. 3 hours earlier. So 11:50, 10:50, 9:50. Okay. 9:50 to 10:40 Washington. And then 2:55, 1:55, 12:55, 11:55. Okay, 11:55 to 1:45 Washington time. Wait, that can't be right. 12:45. Yeah. And I'll figure out Idaho time later. Okay. That's when I'm probably going to start streaming. That's when I'm going to stream for PM. Are those times. Okay. What about 941 long on NQ? What do you think? If you were to go long, would you do and why? If not, then why? So I trade based off of well, I don't just trade off of random numbers. Like, I don't just go, oh, hit 993, I'm going to long. I need to see a specific signature and price that I know has worked over and over many times before. And that is specifically either an inversion. So it's when you violently go below an old low and then go back up. And you close above an old fair value gap. That's inversion fair value gap. So I need to see either that, or if I frame like a trade within like a model, I'll sometimes do these breaker for value gap trades where breaker for value gaps overlap. So I would only long here is if we got a really, really nice high quality inversion and the signature and price and the price action cleaned up. Because right now the price action is really bad, and I'm not trading this. So this would have to like clean up a lot. No, I don't long on first touch. I need a reason to long. I can't just long it. Well, I'll long on first touch if it's a breaker for value gap. Like this was a trade I took this morning, and this one worked really, really well. So look at this, right? So we had, let's see where it was. Yeah, it's kind of feeling like Seek and Destroy, isn't it? So what was the breaker for value gap trade I took? Oh yeah, it was right here. So I had framed that we were possibly in a buy model here. And then we just had a breaker block right here. These up close candles before the down move. So that they're the up close candles before the order block. That's your breaker block. And then that area overlapped with actually I marked it out as a 3-minute breaker block. It overlapped with a fair value gap here. So in this case, right? At the time I thought we were expanding towards London highs. Now we ended up getting an S&T and that was not the case, but this is still a nice trade within the context of this model here. So we were expanding to the upside, had good RR too, and stop loss below the breaker, and it was just very clean. This was like theoretically, like I took a lot off at this the new week opening gap, and then I took some more off here. But I mean, if you held it to London's highs, that would have been a 4-1. But this is a circumstance where
where yeah, I would enter on a tap here because of the signature and price. We got a breaker overlapping with a fair value gap. So that's when I would long on first touch, is if we get a breaker and a fair value gap overlapping. And you can see how reactionary that can be. We also had an inversion here. Trying to think, why didn't I take this? I think, oh, it was just I saw this inversion, but I was like, it was just suspicious with these equal lows below um, and without having good liquidity. But then once we closed above, I started getting confidence that we were expanding. I don't know, but you could have taken this too, possibly. All right, I might just come back, guys. I think I'll come back in, let's see, what time would it be? I'll come back in like 40 minutes. I'll come back in 40 minutes. All right, see you guys.